sure that's the correct order.
He says, "What is this?"
Your day will come. It is rumored that he worked in a taffy shop in New York during this period. Shirley remains by his side to keep our unsung hero in line. Following high school, our guest of honor entered Boston University, where he received his Bachelor of Arts degree in music. He later went on for his master's degree in music, which was received from Columbia University in New York. His teaching career began in Middletown, Connecticut, in the middle school, and later at Woodrow Wilson High School. In 1970, he became the first music teacher at Coggantock High School, where he remained until his retirement. The list of his volunteer activity in our community is a long one. When he's not running on the roads of Durham, and he has one of the easiest, most graceful strides I've ever seen. He works in the library, entertains with his piano at the Taste of Durham, also plays at the community center. He is a music tutor for students seeking a career in music, helps at the Church of Epiphany. He's a local handyman doing all kinds of jobs in his neighborhood. He plays in the New Horizons band, helps new music graduates ready themselves for the world of work by holding mock interviews, and in his spare time, he helps his brother-in-law with running races in Maine. He helped the Exchange Club, incidentally, establish the 4K race and establish age categories. I wonder why he did that. There is more to learn about our guest of honor, and there are a few people here who would like to say a few words about Bruce Schmottlach.
I have to ask you, were you surprised?
God, I'm supposed to be in another meeting tonight.
Everybody in town knows. Anyway,
What?
This is only the beginning. This is your life, Bruce. The first person who wanted to say a few words about Bruce is his grandson, Seamus Doyle. So Seamus, come on up. Oh, I thought it was short.
Hey Grandpa, you probably know right now that tonight is all about you and not me, but it was fun trying to fake pretend. The other day I came over and interviewed you for a class paper I was writing and learned some very interesting things. For example, we already know that you love to run, and running the Boston Marathon was cool. We know you met and married your high school sweetheart, Shirley, and your song for life is by that guy, Kenny Rogers, through the years. I always wondered where your accent came from and your favorite word, Jews and Crow. And now I know it's the combination of living in Newtham, Mass, and Springvale, Maine. So when you pronounce Achi and Kali, I get it. Must be why Mom and Dad finally figured out they should give me a name with no R's. I also didn't know you started your college career wanting to be a concert pianist, but I'm sure your students are glad you changed your mind to become a music teacher. It was pretty cool that you got to teach all three of your kids and came back and conducted your grandkids. You've definitely been an inspiration when you won the Connecticut Music Teacher of the Year award. That just shows you were doing something right. If you think my grandpa has it together, let me tell you, he's done some pretty crazy stuff. In his sleep, he conducts a band. Grammy has to push him off his make-believe podium to get back to sleep. A funny story Grandpa has is when he was in college, he got the role at a New York City opera house. Rehearsal went great. He was a soldier with a spear. He had to hold the crowd back from the king, who was the lead opera star. Well, the night of the performance, the make-believe crowd was a little more forceful, and Grandpa had to push harder to keep the crowd back. In doing so, he speared the king's foot, and the They never asked them back. There's also the time that Grandpa got fooled. When he turned 50, he went for a run. Coming home, he saw a sign in the mailbox, so he thought it was a party in the works. I'll show them, he thought. So he ran up, put on a tux, and came downstairs to nothing. Grammy had to call friends right away to come over so he wouldn't feel quite so bad. Grandpa's first marching experience was during World War II. The Germans surrendered. A neighbor saw Grandpa and some other kids hanging around. He had them go into his house up the attic and choose an instrument. The impromptu band was horrible, but joined the celebration with their neighbors. In my interview, I asked you what you did after retirement. Most people take it easy, but you started working with Mr. Serafino doing carpentry work. You go out with your friends like the DeMeos and the monthly retired teachers club that eat at the Athenia. You traveled to Uncle Tom's wedding in Nepal, went on a cruise with Aunt Betsy to Alaska, and continue enjoying Maine. I definitely miss when we stood on your driveway waiting for the bus and playing catch. People may not know this, but Grandpa does still conduct, helps at church, volunteers at library, helps with road races, and has just started with the Over 50s band with Mr. Fisher. So Grandpa, I just want to say congratulations on receiving this award tonight. You definitely deserve it, but more than anything, I'm really proud that you're my grandpa.
Bruce, you thought he wasn't paying attention. Next, I'd like to call on Carol Herzig to say a few words. Believe me.
Isn't this fun? Being here and celebrating with a friend. Annie and I have been conspiring for the last couple of weeks. And I was a little nervous tonight because I'm really not a public speaker. But then I got to thinking, all I'm doing really is talking about Seamus's grandfather. And then I got really nervous. And I said, oh. But Warren said to me, Carol, don't be nervous. You just get up there and you say, Mr. Schmottlach is a very good volunteer at Durham Public Library, and let's all go home and watch the game. And I said, no, I think I'll do it. So I want to say good evening, and I want to say it's great fun to celebrate Mr. Schmottlach. He comes into the library every Monday and is smiling and is optimistic and positive, and he puts away a very large circulation of items, books, magazines, CDs, DVDs. He's always happy, and we're always happy to see him. I would like to tell you a little bit about how I first met him. In the fall of 1967, I was 17, and I took a music appreciation class at Middlesex Community College. My teacher was a young Mr. Schmottlach. As a teacher, he was fun and engaging, and he taught all of us teenagers who were Beatle-loving, Motown-craving kids about various musical instruments, about symphonies, operas, and arias. He brought in tubas and oboes and showed us the advantage that all these interesting instruments would have in the orchestra. He taught us about all styles of music, enlisting a new interest in some of those old composers. And although I still love the Temptations, a part of me will need a little Bach now and then, and I attribute this to Mr. Schmottlach, as I thank him for opening my eyes to many forms of music. There are some teachers who retire, yet they go on setting wonderful examples for their communities, and Mr. Schmottlach has been one of those people. This is evidenced by him giving a helping hand wherever it might be needed. Our part-time page does the best she can at the library, but we depend heavily on our volunteers to come in and help us put items for the public away. When Mr. Schmottlach comes in, it's usually on a Monday or a Tuesday, and those are our busiest days when we have books that are returned over the weekend. And he usually has a joke or an amusing local story to share with us, usually a little Durham gossip, which we all love so much. His only complaint in helping us, it revolves around the fact that he has to put those books on the bottom shelf, and you don't usually volunteer to strain your back or pull your knee ligaments, but even if you're in good shape, you know, sometimes you do, I guess. I do see Mr. Schmottlach jogging by my house, I would say several times a week. And I'm usually sitting there in my pajamas having coffee, full of sugar and whole milk. And I'm reading the newspaper, and my dogs bark. I look up and I see him go by, and I think, good job. And I just keep reading the paper and sitting there, thinking at least someone's doing what they should do. The best thing he does for us, though, at the library is to play piano at our volunteer luncheon and again at our big fundraiser, the Taste of Durham. And just this week, he played for us at the luncheon. And you know, when you have a fundraiser, atmosphere is everything. It draws everyone in and it provides a good background for a pleasurable evening. So when he plays the Taste, a normally quiet place just sparkles with that nightclub feeling, and we love that. And not only do we get free entertainment, but he donates his tip jar money to the library to purchase books for the children's room. And in addition, he brings a very attractive page turner. It's Sherry or Shelley or Shirley, that's it, Shirley. Anyway, she does her best too. So you can see that some teachers just keep on teaching. They set the example so the rest of us can learn how to be good community members and great volunteers. By the way, Mr. Schmottlach always says to me, Carol, call me Bruce. I can't. I just can't. When someone has been your teacher and you admire their example and integrity so much, it becomes a tough decision to reduce the respect level. So for tonight, I'm going to say thank you from all of Durham Public Library for all you do for us, and congrats on the Golden Deeds Award. Thank you for the A, and you'll always be my volunteer of the year, and I'm going to try to say it. I love you, Bruce.
Next, we have a dynamic duo. Lisa Larson and Dean Kusurita, who would like to say a few words.
We don't have any instruments.
That's right.
Unaccustomed as I am.
That's right. Holy mother, jumped up.
Yeah, these are things he always said. And he would say, G's and Crow, which you already got, right? The main accent, Tina, my sister, said, you were playing Sound of Music in band when she was in high school. And you would say, and you said, okay, now we're going to play that, how do you solve a problem like Maria?
You ever see names like Linda and Lisa and Donnie and Charlie?
That's right, that's right. And the big one, G-A-W-D, damn it. On occasion.
Once in a while.
Once in a while.
But I met Bruce as I was actually at Woodrow Wilson High School. I had Bruce as a teacher, as a 9th grader, and I was a band geek, and he was always well loved, as everybody knows. And then at the end of the school year, he gave us the announcement, a very heartfelt announcement, that he was leaving Woodrow Wilson and taking a job at Regional District 13. And he was very emotional, and we were very emotional. He said, I am going to do anything for any of you whenever I can. And I'm thinking, I'm 9th grade, a 14-year-old kid. I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to see this guy again. We're done here, you know. And so I went through high school, went out to college, got my music degree, and I was gigging, going to be a rock star for that first year. And he would always bring his typewriter down to my dad's store, Peter's Typewriter in Middletown, and he'd always keep up with all his students. I don't know how he did it. He still does. And he said, George, my dad, you got to have Dean come down and apply for this half-time job. Tell him get off his butt and get down here and get this job. So I went down and got the job at District 13, and before I knew it, I was full-time. And you guys, I think, know the rest. The rest is history. But I would owe it all to Bruce. I call him Bruce. It took me a while to do that too. It's not easy. I have kids now that call me Mr. Coots and Mr. Coots. They still can. And it takes a while. But so will never forget all the things you've done. And that's like, he didn't have to do any of that. And he does that for anybody. And that's an amazing thing.
And so he left Middletown, came to Coggin-Chog, and got me as a student. So Dean and I kind of think it's amazing that both of us had the same band director in high school in different schools and ended up now teaching at Coggin-Chog in his old office.
That's right.
You know, with all the, we know all the stories,
Yeah.
we know everything, but Bruce, you were always a very demanding but fabulous teacher. And then later when I came back and had the job there, I can remember, like, I went on a trip, and some kid on the trip took a doorknob off of a room in a hotel. And Bruce got the whole band sitting in the hallway, all the way up and down the hallway, all million kids, and he was like, "We're not leaving here until we know who took the doorknob off the door." But everybody always had tremendous respect for you and wanted to do their best for you and dreaded it if you got mad at us. And I thank you for all the time you invested. I remember when I graduated, you typed out a letter for every single kid and gave them letters. And that, I still have mine. You know, it's a touching thing to get that, and you don't get that from many teachers. So it was absolutely wonderful. And so we are proud to be here tonight. I'll read my sentence and count you as a friend. And it says, you were and still are a dedicated teacher. Bruce has never stopped learning and strives to help new teachers find their way. We oldies still count on him for guidance. Trust us, we call him up. And his humor to get us through the tough days. Especially now we're getting near the end of our careers. We have to go visit to say, how do we get through the end now? Help us out, one day at a time.
Bruce's volunteerism extends beyond the organization he helps. He's always been a great neighbor, willing to open the stuck window, play piano for the Durham seniors, babysit the grandkids, and conduct the school band. We've invited him back several times to go to our school bands and also at festivals. Bruce, to this day, still attends many of our concerts, and he's always at all the parades. In fact, people sit nearby him because they know we're going to stop. The band's going to stop. There's a special little performance with him. So he always has his own little fan club right around him. Something special going to happen. And
As long as it's not, this is my country, right?
that's right.
Which in his last parade, when he was retiring, he knows I hate This Is My Country. So he stopped in front of my house and played it for me specially. Thanks, Bruce.
Well, my favorite Bruce story actually is with Bruce and Dom, because we hired them to build our sets. And it's like, kind of like a little Laurel and Hardy team coming in to work on it. And they were just, but the best Bruce and Dom story I have is that they were building hangers in the back of our storage area to hang our uniforms. And they were doing all this work. And it was all right after the renovation. And the light would keep going off because it had a motion detector. But didn't know that. And so after like a day, he comes out and goes, "Some god kid keeps shutting off the lights now." That's new technology, Bruce. That's you guys aren't moving fast enough.
Can we say this together?
Yeah, we're saying this together.
All right. We thank Bruce for listening, caring, lending a hand, supporting everyone, and most of all, for being a stand-up guy. Bruce, you deserve tonight's award 3 times over. Congratulations. We'll give you money. Pay us later. Pay us later, pay us later.
Thank you all very much for the comments about Bruce. Bruce, would you come and join me, please?
Can you take a picture?
I guess we'll do it on this side.
This side?
It is a great honor for me and indeed a pleasure on behalf of the Durham Middlefield Exchange Club to present to you this award, the Book of Golden Deeds. Congratulations.
when I was a kid, they told us that, you know, men don't cry. And a few years went by and I tried not to do that. And then I said, oh, what the heck. I sort of wear my emotions on the sleeve, okay? And I probably can't go to a movie or something without sitting there with a handkerchief. Sometimes we go into the mails, I don't want them to see me, so I hide the handkerchief, you know.
No,
This truly
Hallmark is dead.
has to be one of the first times that I've really been surprised. I don't know how they did it, but I thought we were coming this evening for my grandson, and this is too much, Ralph. The funny part of it is, as I said, I was supposed to go to a meeting tonight, and I was already sending in my reservation, and we were up in Maine, and Ann told you, Shirley, right, that you got to talk him into it. So I said, oh, okay, I won't go, and I'll come see Seamus. So, but I appreciate all the kind words that have been said. Some of them brought back some memories. As I look around the room, I've just known all of you. And when I walked in the door, okay, I went from you two as students to three guys back there at the door. There were students at Cotton Jog with me. And they're getting closer in age to me. But that's all right. I think I'm still going to beat them. Okay? I don't know what to say except I'm truly thankful to the Exchange Club. And I don't know how it all came about, but I feel like the Academy Award moment now. But I got a great family here, and I see all the boys growing up, right, Arch? Right. Okay. I have to really thank my wife for a lot of things that went into this, and I think you know, you understand what your families are like as you do your work in music. Somebody has to be there at home to take care of things and keep an eye on the kids while you're running around. And I'm really, really blessed that I found the right girl in high school. I moved to Maine to find her. And, it really, really worked out so very, very well. And I'm sure when it's all done tonight, I'm going to say, why didn't I say this, or what a stupid thing it was to say that? You know? But, you know, I got a quotation
It's not gonna stop.
that I sort of live by, and I just love it. And it goes like this. It says, appreciate beauty. And when you look around, you see so many wonderful things. And it said, laugh often. Well, we try and do that. And sometimes we're successful, sometimes we're not. And it said, leave the world a little bit better. And I think that's something that we all try to do. And finally it says, remember those with whom you have shared your life. And that's what all of this means to me. Thank you.